near Eglinton and Dufferin in this awesome 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom condo townhouse. And look at this balcony. Oh my God, look at the view. You can see the city, the sun. If you're stuck working at home, this is a great place to come out with your laptop, do some work. We've got amazing finishes here. Stainless steel appliances, beautiful wood floors, gorgeous ceramic tiles in the kitchen, ceramic backsplash. We've got everything here. It's brand new, ready to move in. And check out our location. I have to tell you a little secret. California Sandwiches is just down the road, and their sandwiches are delicious. They're my favorite. We've got the Beltline bike tour. Crosstown coming. You're gonna be able to get on and get downtown in like no time when it's built. So go to SueSells.ca, see all the photos, see the videos, and give me a call and come for your personal tour.
Thank you for being that wild, crazy place filled with love and joy that I get to raise my family in.
Thank you for movie night.
Thank you for my new home, for giving me my independence.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Asham Curling Supply.
Superior fit, comfort, and performance. Asham curling shoes are the best we've ever used.
Hi folks, I'm Arnold Asham, and our product is always satisfaction guaranteed or your money back.
Asham Curling Supplies.
That's your best delivery of the day.
Hello, folks. Good afternoon. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you joining us here on curling.com's continuing coverage of the Stu Sells Toronto Tankard. This is the women's semifinals between Mackenzie Zacharias and Holly Duncan. John Cullen with you on the call once again. Thrilled to be here. Should be a fantastic game between two of the top-ranked ladies teams in the world. This is one of two games we're covering today. The men's semifinal between John Epping and Brad Gushu, also available here on curling.live. Just search curling.live on YouTube. Make sure you hit subscribe, and you'll be able to find the link to that one as well. That one will have no audio, so no commentary, and neither of the skips are mic'd up, but we will have HD quality coverage of that game as well. So if you want to get the dual box open and watching the two screens, then you're free to do so. So this should be an entertaining game here. We've got the 18th ranked Holly Duncan against the 22nd ranked Mackenzie Zacharias. So, as I said, two of the top teams in the world and two of the top ranked teams at this event. In fact, they are the two top ranked teams at this event. So, or two that are left, I should say. Irene Shorey losing the quarterfinal earlier today. She's ranked 17. So this should be a great battle. Of course, Mackenzie Zacharias from Winnipeg. The rest of her team, Carly Burgess, her sister Emily Zacharias at second, and Lauren Lenentine at lead. And for Holly Duncan out of Woodstock, Ontario, of course, Holly Duncan at skip, Megan Balsden at third, Rachel Strybosch at second, and Tess Bobby at lead. Of course, both of these teams getting prepared for the Olympic pre-trials coming up in Liverpool, Nova Scotia. Those are at the end of October 26th. Those will get underway, and these are two of the teams that will be hoping to secure one of the final spots in the Olympic trials. And I would be willing to bet these two teams will be two of the favorites to get through that crowded field. 14 teams competing for two spots. So we may be getting a little pre-trials playoff preview here. But as it stands, this is the semifinal of the Stu Sells Toronto Tankard. This is actually the fourth event of the season for Holly Duncan and the third time they've been inside this very Oakville Curling Club. They won the Stu Sells Oakville Tankard about a month ago, beating Carrie Galusha in the final 7-3. And they lost the semifinals of the Oakville Labor Day Classic back on Labor Day weekend, losing to Tracy Fleury. So she was the eventual champion there, and close game, losing 7-6. And then they also lost the final in Kitchener-Waterloo to Carrie Galusha. Galusha winning that one by a very football score-ish 13-7. So the team's not afraid to mix it up here early. Obviously, this is deep into the tournament for both of these teams. This is the 6th game for Duncan and the 7th for Zacharias. Zacharias took a bit of the long road, losing their opener to Calissa Daly before beating the High Park Randos and then losing in the B draw to Isabel Ladisseur. But they've now won 3 games on the trot, beating Mackenzie Kiemel, Yunjun Kim to qualify, and then beating Carrie Galusha this morning, ending Carrie Galusha's 11-game winning streak. So obviously an impressive feat for Zacharias, as Galusha playing as well as anyone in the country right now. So Zacharias without hammer and sitting shot. Emily Zacharias looking to get a guard up here. So they actually weren't guarding, just coming right down to the face of that one. Nice shot by Emily Zacharias.
Do you think you can get inside?
And pleased to be joined on commentary by one of my fave guys in curling. Just got finished coaching Irene Shorey. You may know him as an Olympic silver medalist, multiple-time Ontario men's champion, and broadcaster for the Grand Slam of Curling, Mike Harris. Thanks for being here, Mike.
Happy to be here. Sad to be here. My team lost, but yeah, here we are. And I'm glad to be. I'm in top 10 commentators for you, or is that?
I'm hoping to get into the top 10.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm there yet, but I'm working at it.
Yeah, good to be with you guys here on curling.com and. Of course, sportsnet.ca. Got to throw a plug in.
Yeah,
boss,
of course.
Right? So,
yeah,
awesome.
sportsnet.ca and World Curling TV. I've been saying all weekend that we're sort of like a three-headed hydra here, just making sure that.
So I can invoice 3 different people?
You can,
that
absolutely.
Okay,
yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's the way we like to do it. Make it as complicated
Triple
as
dip.
possible. Our billing department will get back to you eventually.
So catch me up. Who's got the hammer here?
So
That's
Holly
how-
Duncan has the hammer by virtue of
Clear
qualifying.
preparation here for.
Hey, it's all good. Like you said, you just got finished coaching, and you're coaching Irene Shorey from Switzerland, who just lost a tough one in extra end to Danielle Inglis, who made an absolute pistol on her last one to secure the
Unfortunately
victory.
for us, and happy for Danielle Inglis fans, she curled about 107% in that game. So, yeah,
That's pretty good.
Yeah, she didn't miss much, and yeah, we're certainly deserving of her berth in the semis. So it's been a good weekend for all the teams that qualified, certainly. So.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, Duncan does have hammer, but a very nice little double and roll for Carly Burgess. And Zacharias lying one without the hammer here.
So nose? Yep. Okay.
So Mike, you're obviously from Ontario. You've been around a while. What can you tell us about this Holly Duncan team? I got to see them a little bit at the Oakville Tankard a month ago, which they won, and they looked very impressive doing so. But what are some things that stick out about them to you?
Well, Holly's, she was one of these teams, really good junior university player and excellent skip, and then took a few years off to get her law degree, and real life kind of took over, and then she came back to the game and has had some good success here in Ontario, and excellent team and a smart skip. I'd like to say I'm well versed in Ontario provincial play, but I'm actually not that in the loop, I guess is the best way to put it. But I know that in the last few years they've had a very good run over the last couple of seasons. COVID, notwithstanding. But they're one of the forces here in Southern Ontario. Everyone seems to think it's only Rachel Homan and a couple of other teams, but really, Holly's excellent. Danielle Inglis, of course, is very good as well, and they're a smart, accomplished team, so they're going to be tough here against the World Junior Champions from Winnipeg.
Yes, totally. Well, I can tell you, Mike, Holly Duncan lost the 2020 Scotties final to Rachel Homan. So
correct.
That's that's their pedigree. They're obviously one of those top teams, and talked about that on stream with Mary Chilvers. That I think when you have a team as dominant as Rachel Homan, you tend to think it's only them, and you don't think about the other teams.
Right.
But Holly Duncan ranked 18th in the world. She's heading off to the pre-trials. Obviously a very good team.
Yeah, and consistent right up and down the board. So, and Megan Balston, who's on our screen here, she's skipped as well in Southern Ontario, another accomplished player, and many people know her brother Greg as well. So another curling family, and she's excellent thrower. It's just, there's seems to be at the very top of the game, both men's and women's, there's that little gap between the teams that are really going at it full time all the time, and then the teams like Team Duncan and Team Inglis who, you know, have jobs and other things they need to do to kind of make ends meet, who are you know, extremely talented and as well. So whoever plays either one of these teams or any of the 4 teams in the semifinal, they're gonna have to show up with their A game.
Yeah, no question. It's been a good run for Duncan the last few months, and Mackenzie Zacharias had a few little stutters to start this event, but she's won 3 in a row now. And as I was saying when you just joined the broadcast, beating Carrie Galusha, who was on an 11-game win streak. So Zacharias may be starting to grow into the tournament a little bit here. But Duncan lying 2, and Mike, I'm guessing they just want to get rid of that back one and sit right there.
Yeah, just don't have any major disasters here in the first end, and 2 wouldn't be awful for. You never like giving up multiple points in the first end, but Duncan's got things in control here at the moment. But Zacharias has kind of fought her way through the C road to get through, and he said beating an experienced player like Galusha in the quarter certainly bodes well for her. It was a good spot, so Duncan's got to figure out where to put this where there won't be any type of double. Pretty easy red-yellow combo up the middle here for Zacharias on her next one. Could draw open over to the right-hand side to the T-line area would be my first instinct. Try to find a way to get 2 here. Coming around the middle as they're doing, the danger, of course, is if you get it onto the T-line area, there's definitely going to be a run double available for Zacharias. So you have to be careful with the stone position here. Don't let it over curl to the center line. Leave the run double.
Yeah, I can understand why Duncan would maybe want to be coming around all this, because she might be worried if she draws the open side that Zacharias maybe would come around everything, but you'd think if she does that, it'd be a pretty easy run back for Duncan for 2. And
Right.
She probably also wouldn't try that in the first end. She wouldn't want to give up 3, right?
Right, that would be brave in the first end for sure. So there's a good look at it from the front. If this yellow ends up half buried top of the forefoot or anywhere along that line, it's a pretty simple run double for Zacharias.
So Holly Duncan's first here in the first. Lying 1, looking to sit 2, but needs it to be in the right spot. Bobby and Strybosch on this pretty early. And this looks like it might be a little light. Just maybe got a little bit outside of the path there, Mike.
Yeah, that's an unforced error. Now if Zacharias can just make this short run back and roll to the right about a rock, it'd be hard for Duncan to score, actually. You're going to have to certainly a tricky shot against 3.
Same weight, 10.5. A little bit your sidecar. It's really good. Yeah, same weight. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, let's make it first. Yeah.
So final stone here for Mackenzie Zacharias in the first end. Looking for a hit and a small roll to lie 3. She doesn't get exactly the roll she wanted, Mike, and this is going to be a pretty routine draw, I think, for Holly Duncan.
Easy in theory, you know. It's one of those ones. It's simple but important. You know, the first end obviously adds to the degree of difficulty for this draw. And after coming up short on your first, you know, you always tend to, and you're changing side of sheet as well. So not easy in the first to make this draw to the 8-foot.
I'm taking like a little bit more ice than they've. So you still think a little less? Okay.
Well, you hear the the doubt, I guess, is the best way to put that from Holly. She's not convinced she needs to throw less weight than she just did.
So final stone, Holly Duncan facing 3 in the first. Needs the full 8 foot.
Just watch the sweepers here. There's no panic. Seem to be in looking promising.
Yeah, no panic from the sweepers and no panic from Holly Duncan. She'll make that shot right to the button. And so she will put one on the board here with the hammer, but Zacharias will get her first chance to do some damage with it when we come back. You're watching continuing coverage of the Stu Sells Toronto Tankard on curling.com.
Thank you for being that wild, crazy place filled with love and joy that I get to raise my family in.
Thank you for movie night.
Thank you for my new home, for giving me my independence.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Asham Curling Supply.
Superior fit, comfort, and performance. Asham curling shoes are the best we've ever used.
Hi folks, I'm Arnold Asham, and our product is always satisfaction guaranteed or your money back.
Asham Curling Supplies.
That's your best delivery of the day.
Hello, folks, and welcome back to continuing coverage of the Stu Sells Toronto Tankard, live from Oakville, Ontario, here on curling.com, sportsnet.ca, and World Curling TV. John Cullen here, along with Mike Harris. We've got the ladies' semifinal between Holly Duncan and Mackenzie Zacharias. And Mike, it looked like Holly Duncan was set up for a 2 there, and just came a little light on her first shot, and then ended up having to make kind of a pressure draw against 3 to get things started.
Yeah, she was. I mean, she was set up for 2. It's the life and joy of skipping. Thanks, skipper.
Yeah, that's why I never did it.
Didn't get through that one. And anyway, it was. But she made a nice draw, and mission accomplished on her last to score. But I think Zacharias would be equally or more happy with getting the force here. So we'll see how they do with the hammer.
And getting a look here at Lauren Lenentine. She's the lead, but also the vice for Mackenzie Zacharias. She's got a lot of experience in the house, skipping PEI teams to the Canadian Juniors a few years in a row, and then playing 3rd for Caitlin Jones. And so they sort of thought when they brought her on the team, they liked Carly Burgess throwing 3rd, but Carly maybe with a little less experience in the house. So Lauren does the double duty as the lead and vice.
Well, and good to bring Carly on. Carly just keeps winning title after title after title, too, doesn't she? Winning,
yes.
Multiple world junior titles. And
3, yeah.
3, yeah.
2 as a player, 1 as an alternate. And she went to the World Juniors 5 times total. 3 times as a player, twice as an alternate. So, yeah, you could say she has some experience. Does Carly Burgess, especially being 22 years old.
Yeah,
it's
just keeps winning.
Yeah, just keeps winning, yeah. It's an easy game for some people. I don't know why it was so hard for me, but
yeah, and others.
Yeah,
yeah. Same here.
Looks a little hot. Yeah, right to it. Can you freeze it? Yeah. It's all there. Test
So Lauren did come a little light on her last one. This will give Holly Duncan a chance to get in here. That's a nice shot from Rachel Strybosch.
A good angle set up there, the 2 yellows. Going right onto the back. A bit of work to do here for Zacharias to get herself out of a little difficulty.
And you can see Danielle Inglis in the shot right beside us here. This is, of course, one of the semifinals happening out at the Oakville Curling Club right now. We'll do our best to keep you updated on all the other games. Of course, the other ladies semifinal is Danielle Inglis against Shannon Jay. Danielle Inglis is currently up 1-0, scoring 1 with the hammer in the first end. Beside them, we've got men's semifinal action. Corey Dropkin facing off against Glenn Howard, who were 5-0 winners this morning on stream against John Schuster. So 2 American opponents in a row for Glenn here on Canadian Thanksgiving. And Corey Dropkin getting out to an early 1-0 lead in that one. And then beside them, we've got Brad Gushu and John Epping. That is our other feature game. So if you want to watch that one, we don't have any audio on that one, but we do have HD cameras up and down the sheet on that one for you, so you can go to curling.live on YouTube and watch that one if you're so inclined. They blanked the first end, so Gushu has hammer. They're playing 2.
Yeah, some would say that'd be more enjoyable, John, than listening to you and I, but I would disagree.
I would disagree too. I think this is. I think, you know, as a commentator, you never want to say that you're the show, but.
Well, we're not, but
no, we're not.
But even the players aren't mic'd there either, so we'll go with that.
Yes, exactly.
Would have been nice for Team Duncan to roll a little further there, so double opportunity, and Zacharias slowly be able to draw play away from the middle. If she can make the double and roll open, will force Duncan to play a hit. This is tight.
Ooh, didn't want to do that.
Or that. The second tick was even more painful than the first.
So Holly Duncan without hammer, lying 3 all in the forefoot.
Yeah, this is now time to start playing some run backs for Zacharias. This is a great opportunity for Duncan. Really figure out a way to steal here.
Don't want this one too deep. That'll come to a stop for Megan Balsden. And
pretty good spot though.
Yeah.
You know, if they try the slash on that top yellow in the house, it's just going to jam and stay buried. So Zacharias has got to hit that guard, I think, just left of center as we're looking at it from the front here, and maybe could get 3 of the yellows moving right there.
Yeah, one thing we know about Carly Burgess, Mike, is she can throw the big weight and throw it well. So certainly a possibility that she gets 3 of them going here. But she's going to need to get at least some of them going, that's for sure. Starting to run out of rocks here.
Asking for a little less, so probably a little extra heat on this.
This is curling a lot too. And
got away with the rub out front. The perfect tick. She had one a couple rocks earlier. It was a painful tick. That was the bonus right there.
Yeah, very fortunate for Carly Burgess. Seemed like she was a little tight out of her hand. But as you say, Mike, just sometimes it's the kiss of death and sometimes it's the
Oh, that was
the kiss of romance.
Very,
yes, what's
very,
the opposite of death?
very
Life? The kiss of
fortunate.
life?
Yeah, that was very... That gets by the top one. She probably just makes a straight peel and in the same amount of difficulty, but great break.
Holly Duncan still looking okay for a steal, though.
Yeah, this needs to get a little... This needs to curl quite a bit. Now.
Needs to slow down, too.
Well, here's a chance now to make the same type of shot. Hit and roll buried and another double, and what a turnaround.
Yeah, no kidding. So Carly Burgess looking for a hit and roll. And if she makes it, it could really set up a nice possible 2 here for Zacharias, but the sweepers are on it right away again.
Keep this outside the center line.
And
that was the kiss of death.
That was the kiss of death. Yes, exactly. I don't know why I thought, like, my brain, I was like, what's the opposite of death? And I said romance.
There you go.
That's
life,
how you know it's
life.
That's how you know it's game 11.
Still alive, that's
yeah,
right.
Yeah. You either die or you have romance in your life. I had to do a game this morning by myself too, so I feel like, you know, when you start to have to talk to yourself and you've done 11 games in a row, it's all these things start to compile on top of one another.
If you start answering yourself, that's when you got to.
That's when it's a real problem. Yeah. Yeah, when I start to ask the crew to turn the second mic on so I can really make it happen, that's when it's a problem. In any case, Holly Duncan will look to guard here, and now all of a sudden where Megan Balsden's one ended up, Mike, it wasn't in a great spot when it was open, but now if they could put a guard on this, that's in a really good spot.
Yeah, we're almost back to that situation we were a couple rocks ago now with that miss from Burgess.
In the men's game right in front of us, Brad Gushu had a shot for 2, open hit, and unfortunately he just rolled out on it, so he only scored 1. So Brad Gushu taking 1 with the hammer in second end. Epping will have the hammer in the third. Gushu leads 1-0.
Excellent guard there from Duncan. And the problem for Zacharias is not only she forced play the run back here, but if she doesn't make contact with anything in the rings, there's no draw available either for her to give up 1. And even that shot would be very difficult.
So this is where you need the skipper to make the big bucks here, Mike. Mackenzie Zacharias is going to need to pull out a beauty here.
Yeah, definitely could get all 3 moving with good contact. Right on the nose would be very close to getting rid of all 3 yellows. Needs to get to the center line almost. Just a little high side, so good guard for Duncan here will almost guarantee a steal of some sort. I think Zacharias will be forced to play the same run back and try to see if she can sneak a blank end out of this. You know, if I was Duncan and you really wanted to guarantee yourself a steal, you could throw this right on the center line, actually, top 12, and I don't think there'd be a triple available. So she's going to throw the guard, and I think Zacharias will be forced to play that wide in-turn draw to give up 1 or play the run back for the blank.
So we'll see where this one ends up. Holly Duncan looking to guard here. Already up 1 and sitting 2 without hammer.
That's good. If it's higher, you might need to finish. A little bit wider, I think. Tessa's rock. Yep. Okay, yep.
So you need to get this within about 4 or 5 inches of the center line to be a good enough guard.
Go, go, go. Hard. Hard, you got it. Keep
Trying to close the gap here.
Hard, hard, a little more. Hard. A little
Keep going.
Yeah, that's a nice shot from Holly Duncan.
So, there's the call. Challenge is that those guards are quite a ways off the center line, so it's going to be hard to get to the button. But I think, you know, if you're a sweeper, just try to get this to the tee line and maybe hold Duncan to one. I suppose if you had to get to the side of the button, it might be there. Extremely difficult.
Yeah, I think with the curl we've seen all week, I think it is possible, like you say, Mike, but you'd have to get really close to those guards to do it, and that might be too much of a risk. So not an enviable position for Mackenzie Zacharias with her last. She's facing two, needs a piece of the button for one. Final stone here in the second end.
Line's good. Line's good. Yeah. Line's good. Yeah.
Sweepers are on this early. It is really curling.
Yeah, keep going. Keep going.
And that is all over the guard. So that's going to be a steal of two for Holly Duncan. Dominated the end from start to finish, and it goes up on the scoreboard. They're going to take a 3-0 lead over Mackenzie Zacharias heading into the third end when we come back.
I don't think we made a shot.
Here at Red Arena, we are trying to help people through equine therapy. Working with the veterans has been a very amazing experience. Our little motto that we always say is empowerment through horses. I love what I do. I'm just happy to be a part of it.
I'm a little bit of a nerd when it comes to landscaping. I've studied soil down to the microbes. It's that level of detail I bring to my work and to my business. Straight lines and a healthy ecosystem is what I'm all about.
Asham Curling Supply.
Superior fit, comfort, and performance. Asham curling shoes are the best we've ever used.
Hi folks, I'm Arnold Asham, and our product is always satisfaction guaranteed or your money back.
Asham Curling Supplies.
That's your best delivery of the day.
Thank you for being that wild, crazy place filled with love and joy that I get to raise my family in.
Thank you for movie night.
Thank you for my new home, for giving me my independence.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, folks, and welcome back to the Stu Cells Toronto Tankard women's semifinal action. We get a look there at Mackenzie Zacharias facing a bit of an uphill battle here as she's gone quickly down 3-0 to Holly Duncan. John Cullen alongside Mike Harris. And Mike, this is already into maybe not desperation mode for Zacharias, but certainly they'll want to maybe go hard for a 2 here.
They need to score. Yeah, get on the board and try to build a little bit of momentum. Even getting the force in that first end, they could easily have given up a couple of points there, but it was a miss from Duncan that kind of gave up that opportunity. So it's really been all all Team Duncan so far. And a good start, the double corners. So we'll see some rocks in play.
Yeah, absolutely. Rachel Strybosch throwing her first here in the third. And action around the other sheets. I can give you an update on one of the men's semifinals. Glenn Howard, the ageless wonder, putting another 2 up on the board. I don't know why I said another. I guess just because I called his game this morning and he put a few 2s on the board up there, but he's put a 2 on the board against Corey Dropkin. So Glenn Howard leads that one 2-1. Dropkin with the hammer playing 3.
He's got to be disappointed. Gave up a point this game, so Glenn's going to be...
That's true. Did have the big donut this morning against Schuster.
A rare shutout. You don't see that very often.
No, you certainly don't. It was... we had that game live here on curling.com, and I think it's not uncharitable of me to say that John Schuster won't want to watch that video back. It was a bit of a struggle all morning for them.
We were talking earlier. The hardest games to call are the blowouts. So doing that by yourself when there's a blowout, I couldn't imagine the challenge that you had.
Well,
John.
They got mad at me, Mike. They said, there were people in the chat saying,
"Well, it's your fault."
Yeah, it is my fault. It's my fault that Schuster lost. And I was told that in order to be a commentator, you either have to be a world-class curler or a certified curling coach. So, thank goodness you're here.
Well, I think former's the the key part of that.
You and I are both former a lot of things.
Former.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's definitely tough to call, especially, and I'm sure you go through this too, Mike. I mean, we both played for a long time, and you've been there, you feel the pain when a team just can't quite get it together, you can feel it. You've been there and you know what it feels like, and so it's hard to call just from that perspective too, because you go, oh geez, yeah, I've played these games, I've seen this movie before.
And to your point, I mean, it's interesting as over it's been 20 years I've been commentating. If you can imagine that, it seems like yesterday I started, but it was we always got, oh, you're cheering for this team, you're cheering for that team. You'd be surprised how little I care who wins. What you're hoping for is that the games are close. That makes always say the show's always good when the game's close, right? That's basically what happens. So, typically as the commentator, you're only as good as the scoreboard, so to speak. So,
no question. And if the scoreboard gets out of hand, then you start thinking the opposite of
death
is
your
romance.
Money, yeah. What did we do to deserve this? Right? So.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, chance here for Zacharias now. They need a good shot. They need a nice run back into that pocket, get play away from the middle, have one of their reds in the rings, and try to figure out a way to score an easy 2 points here. So this is important to kind of hit this just near the nose somewhere and force Duncan into dealing with something in the house.
Yeah, this has been... So far through the first couple ends, Mike, what has been Zacharias' undoing a little bit is just not being able to make these run backs and get the rocks in the spots they want. So hopefully they can make that happen here. And unfortunately, Emily Zacharias just misses the whole pile. And so like we say, that's what's been hurting Zacharias so far. Just hasn't quite been able to find that shot that turns the end around for them.
And the challenge now, of course, is the guard's going to be replaced, but it's now going to be a yellow guard. So that kind of a twofold error. You always seem to be worried about, nosing the guard by, perhaps, but that would have been a good result in that case for our World Junior champions. So more chasing. They're a couple of stones away from figuring out a way to get on the scoreboard here in number 3.
Line's good. Line's good. Whoa, let it work, let it work. Let it work a bit. Looks like a lot. Yeah. Can you freeze it? I know. Easy.
So they were looking for a guard here, but they slide this one a little deep, so this might be an opportunity here for Team Zacharias, Mike.
Well, a little break. If they can some sort of big weight shot on that one that was just thrown, get rid of 2 yellows, And save your shooter is the key part of this equation. You have to force Duncan into hitting something in the rings here. You cannot afford to roll out. Even a nose hit where you only got rid of one yellow, at least Duncan may be forced to hit.
So Carly Bird just coming down to take a look.
I think, yeah, I mean, we can try, but you can try. I don't know if this
The danger
guy's
with hitting
gonna
off that one on the right, as Carly's indicating, is if you just kick those two on the center line to the left slightly, you're going to leave an open hit on your red, and then Duncan can basically hit it on the nose, and then you've got a situation with three up the middle again. So you might, I think my tendency would be to hit the one on the center line at the top 12, a little on the left of center, make the double on the two yellows that are touching the 8-foot, and save your shooter over on the left side somewhere and get play out of the middle. This is going to keep play near the center by playing this shot. So we'll see how this pans out. And maybe trying to do too much with one rock here.
You're still not making it. It's fine.
Yeah, just throwing a lot there. It seemed like Carly almost thought she might sort of be able to squeeze through that hole there, Mike, and I think that's what maybe led her to throw a little bit more weight. And I think your comment is good. Maybe just trying to make one rock do a little too much.
Some impatience there, right?
That one? Yeah. Okay.
So now,
I mean, I guess
at least 2 stones from getting rid of that yellow in the 4-foot right now for Zacharias, and they only have 3 stones left. So.
But it's not a double. It's a hit and roll.
So you do the math,
right? And that's if you get a miss from Duncan, right? So a lot of work to do yet.
So Megan Balsden throwing another guard here. And to their credit, Team Duncan has really been capitalizing on the mistakes from Team Zacharias and putting a lot of pressure on the young squad from Winnipeg.
Right, and degree of difficulty very low on Team Duncan shots. That's that's the real bonus for them.
Line's okay. Gotta finish it, man, I think. Yeah, finish it. Yep. Okay, whoa.
Again, not in the house here is ideal.
Good shot from Megan.
You can get rid of 3 of those yellows, just near the nose somewhere. Get rid of all 3 at the top. I think that back one's safe for the moment.
Stay right there. Open up the front at least. Same weight.
Just do some damage at the top there. If this is really important to make contact with the rocks in the rings, or it's almost going to be another guaranteed steal with only 2 rocks remaining after this for Team Zacharias. It's tight. Oh, did a good job moving that back. You saw that rock move off the center line. Great shot. Excellent result.
So there we go. That might be the shot we were talking about earlier, Mike, where Team Zacharias just needed to make a big one to get things turned around a bit. Holly Duncan still lying shot, but certainly a much better situation than it was just a few seconds ago.
This is the Jim Carrey. You're saying there's a chance. There's a chance now that Zacharias can get on the board here. And actually, with a half a miss here, if Duncan doesn't make a really good guard,
Similar to that spot.
2 may be in the mix here. So good result there from Burgess.
Okay, a little higher than the red. It's like a 2.5. This spot's similar to this way, right? Okay.
So Holly Duncan's first here in the 3rd. Has shot stone, just trying to guard it.
Line's good. Okay, might need to work a bit. Rachel's rock right now. Okay, might need to finish a little actually. Yep, a little bit.
Tess Bobby trying to bring it over to the center line here.
Whoa, I think we're okay. Whoa, just clean. Whoa, clean, whoa.
Yeah, no problem.
17. Okay.
Yeah, I agree. Like 12?
Might be a port there between the
might
red
be.
and yellow.
Yeah.
Probably roll under the corner. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think just 12. Okay.
So a little, like you said, Mike, there's that half miss from Holly Duncan that might open the door for Mackenzie Zacharias to sneak out a 2 here.
Just 12. Make sure we stick. Right under ours. Once we get closer, it's probably going to curl a little more, but I think it should run a bit.
Been beautiful ice here all week. Scott Foster has done a fantastic job as per usual.
Yeah, I think a little bit more.
So very consistent sheet to sheet. Zacharias will have a good idea what this does.
So needs a hit and roll here.
Yep. Whoa. Yeah. Yeah. Hard. Yeah. Hard. Hard.
Zacharias and Burgess trying to keep it straight. And they will. Fantastic shot from Mackenzie Zacharias. And perhaps for the first time this game, Mike, a little bit of pressure on Holly Duncan here.
Definitely. And that rock is dead buried and wonderful result, really.
Okay,
That's not.
I think in-turn draw here for Duncan now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I'm thinking, it's probably just a little bit slower, like a 14.8 instead of or like a 14.5 instead of a whatever it is.
15,
Yeah.
So like there?
Yeah, like that. Yeah.
Good comment there from Megan. Just not as much play on this side of the sheet so far, and we saw Duncan in the first end come up light in the spot, so we'll, again, watch the sweepers and see what they think, but top 4 foot around the yellow can still make things difficult for Zacharias.
405? Okay. We want to make sure it's buried, so even if it's back, like. Okay.
So final stone for Holly Duncan here in the third. Mackenzie Zacharias laying 1. Duncan needs to make a good draw around this center guard.
Okay, line's good. Room. Really running. Line's okay. Starting to go. Still T. Still T. Can you finish it? Okay, yeah, Rachel's raw. Gotta bury, gotta bury. Gotta bury it. Go, go, go.
Looks maybe a little hot, Mike.
Yep, it's okay. It's behind T. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Pretty good.
Yeah, beautiful shot. Excellent.
Yeah, that's something we've seen this week. A lot of these rocks, when they get into the slide path and they start to curl across that center line, they really die. And that one was beautifully managed by the sweepers and Holly Duncan.
12 and a half.
Yeah, if you go wide, particularly fourth or fifth end onwards, it's definitely faster out in the wings.
Yeah, that's a little
But a similar shot here available for Zacharias that she threw in her first. Probably need to throw a hair less weight. That rock's more buried than on her previous shot. Definitely makeable. And obviously critically important here. It's going to be 4-0 or 3-2.
Sorry, yeah, so 12 and a half, so just a little bit less.
So big shot here for Mac
Do
Zach.
you guys like this or do you like the run? I like it. Yeah. This is a little bit more. Smidge more. Okay.
Needs to navigate this port and move that yellow for 2. Final stone. Sweepers on it early. Can they get through the hole? They cannot. So another unfortunate miss for Mackenzie Zacharias. Puts another one up on the board for Holly Duncan. It's now a 4-0 lead as we head to the fourth. We'll be back with live coverage of the Stu Sells Toronto Tankard on curling.com.
Here at Red Arena, we are trying to help people through equine therapy. Working with the veterans has been a very amazing experience. Our little motto that we always say is empowerment through horses. I love what I do. I'm just happy to be a part of it.
I'm a little bit of a nerd when it comes to landscaping. I've studied soil down to the microbes. It's that level of detail I bring to my work and to my business. Straight lines and a healthy ecosystem is what I'm all about.
Asham Curling Supply.
Superior fit, comfort, and performance. Asham curling shoes are the best we've ever used.
Hi folks, I'm Arnold Asham and our product is always satisfaction guaranteed or your money back.
Asham Curling Supplies.
That's your best delivery of the day.
Thank you for being that wild, crazy place filled with love and joy that I get to raise my family in.
Thank you for movie night.
Thank you for my new home, for giving me my independence.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Here at Red Arena, we are trying to help people through equine therapy. Working with the veterans has been a very amazing experience. Our little motto that we always say is empowerment through horses. I love what I do. I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Good afternoon, folks. Happy Thanksgiving and welcome back to continuing coverage of the Stu Sells Toronto Tankard here on curling.com, sportsnet.ca, and World Curling TV. John Cullen alongside Mike Harris with the call of the women's semifinal. Holly Duncan against Mackenzie Zacharias. And it's been all one-way traffic so far. Not surprising that the lawyer is good at defense as Holly Duncan's up 4-0.
Yeah, big missed opportunity there for Zacharias on her last semifinals. It's you can't afford to be giving points away. In this case, it was 3 points.
Normal. Megan.
So definitely
Okay, just please.
an opportunity now for Duncan to change gears a little bit and
Yeah, you gotta go.
could play a little defense here.
Okay.
Good shot, nice hit and roll.
I know, it's like, are we doing anything?
You right over there?
Yeah, sorry, just about my romance just about ended and I almost died. And a little water went down the wrong pipe there, which they call that's really, a lot of people don't think about that when they think about curling commentary, but we are risking our lives out here. Anyway, yes, I agree
Lives,
with everything you said,
reputation, all
Mike.
that stuff.
Yeah.
Whatever he said. I think
Exactly. Yeah, he did beautifully. He did beautifully. He said everything I was going to say, but I was near death.
I'm happy you're back where I don't have to throw out a commercial.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about that. I got you covered on that. Yeah, no, for sure. It's definitely a case where I think too, Mike, it's not only that Zacharias missed the opportunity, but that they have been struggling. So when you're not playing as well, but you still find yourself with a chance for two,
right,
and then you don't get it, that is a particularly deflating.
Just take it and then mess up ours in the front. That's the only thing. But if we play, so I like if we play at it, play like down weight, or we.
So what do you think, Mike? You like peeling the corner here or trying to get the one in the house?
I'd chase the red in the rings with quiet weight, and if it happens over curl, that's fine. You know, it's one of those situations. You know, we talk about the pro side miss, all that sort of stuff over the. You know, put my coaching hat on. Just don't miss it wide if you're going to miss it. So I don't mind the chase. Looks like you can see a good chunk of that red in the rings, but yeah, scoreboard first, right? If you get the guard, that's fine.
So Rachel Strybosch trying to get this past the guard, and she will. Good sweep from Megan Balsden, and no mistake made there.
One thing with this ice surface, the sweepers have been really able to hold the line when they do need to go. So, a combination of you know, the new technique we've discovered over the last few years with that inside sweeper being able to hold the rocks straight and a good ice surface. So, nice sweeping ice.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, you talked about Scott Foster earlier, and talking to the curlers all weekend and a month ago when we were here too, just all of them without exception talking about how good the ice is here. And that's what teams want when they, you know, can't be in a slam and they want to play in a club. They want the ice to look as much like arena ice as possible, and that's certainly what Scott Foster and his crew have done here, as Emily Zacharias will slip a little deep again. And just looking around at some of the other action happening, the other ladies semifinal, Danielle Inglis putting 2 on the board in the third. So Inglis is up 3-1 on Shannon Jay. Jay has the hammer playing 4. Over on sheet 5, Corey Dropkin with his last in the third had a pick to get 1, and he just threw it a little wide and flashed everything. So Glenn Howard stealing another point. So it's 3-1 for Team Glenn Howard over Corey Dropkin. And in our other featured game, our Sheet B game, Team Gushu and Team Epping tied at 1. They're playing the 4th, Team Gushu with the hammer. So there's that pro side miss.
Keep going.
For Megan Balsden, just hits the guard instead of the one in the house. But now maybe for Zacharias, they've got a corner guard here, Mike, they can use.
Yeah, I think it's worth maybe throwing one come around. I don't know that the freeze is the play.
No, they are. Okay.
Not critical that Zacharias is second right now. I mean, eventually they'll have to play that double up the middle anyway. But the danger, of course, playing the hit and roll is you could end up doing some damage to your red at the back of the rings. They're freezing, and you're going to see Duncan probably hit the back one, the lie 3, and then Ian Zacharias is going to have to figure out a way to chase, depending on the angle that they get set up here at the top.
Top 4, back 4, top 8, top 4. Line's good. Whoa. Close. Yeah. Oh, it's picking.
No, it's just light.
No, it's like going completely sideways.
You could actually see the rotation of the handle change a little there as well, so definitely got a little something underneath the running surface. So Duncan, chance for a nose hit, or even I think I'd probably try to hit this center line side, maybe make the double.
Yeah, you'd also think you never want to mess with your own yellow back there too, right? So by playing the center line side, you might also make the double, but you also stay away from potentially jamming on your own. So Megan Balsden just looking to make at least one of these reds go away.
Yeah, a little bit. Whoa.
And that works.
Could have swept that a little and made the double.
Yeah, it didn't seem, Mike, like they ever really looked at it that seriously.
The problem now is, Zacharias can make the double on the top and roll their shooter for a little biter, perhaps, to the right. And 2's in the mix again, so playing this quiet, I think I'd be... Yeah, you're...
Okay, sure.
Carlos, let's just play the double.
I don't know if we'll be in. It'll be close. Like,
Yeah, only 3 rocks to go, Mike. When your opponent's hitting 2 and you don't have hammer, you kind of got to do something.
Right.
it'll be close. I don't know if we're going to be in.
Yeah, those staggered rocks up the middle, there's no way to get at shot stone right now.
11. Yeah, right at it.
They're not throwing a ton of weight at this.
That's okay. Just got to make sure you get rid of the top one and save your shooter.
Have to save the shooter, though. And they will not, so it's Holly Duncan once again lying a couple without hammer.
So how much risk does Duncan want to take here? Do you throw the guard or do you hit the back one and maybe let Zacharias off the hook? That's the decision.
Yeah, like the double roll. Yeah. But if we hit this and roll to here, that isn't shot.
True.
So.
Do you guys like the guard or hitting?
Okay.
And that's the right conversation. They said it's kind of a team decision.
So,
the guard's fine.
Like here?
Yeah.
Seemed like the front end really liked the guard.
They clearly liked the guard.
They clearly liked the guard, yeah. Both Rachel Strybosch and Tess Bobby in unison guard. So
yeah.
I think as a skip, when your front end is that decisive and you're already maybe leaning that way anyway, it makes the decision pretty easy.
Certainly. And, again, every team's got its own dynamic. But, again, for me, first conversation is based on the score. 4-0. How much risk are we willing to take? And this is a pretty simple shot. It's not like they're playing some difficult shot to apply pressure. It's just a simple guard. So, yeah, this is good.
Line's good.
So Holly Duncan just sitting 2 and looking to guard him up.
Line's okay.
Need to get this just across the center line as we're looking at it.
I don't think it needs to curl.
Whoa.
No, line's fine. Just clean it.
Yeah,
you're okay, I think.
Like that.
Just like that. Couldn't walk it down any better.
No.
Perfect spot for
A1.
Holly Duncan.
Just extremely difficult for Zacharias to
I think so.
score more than 1 here.
Stay like here. Oh. Or we played.
I just think we're gonna.
I didn't pay a ton of attention to
I know.
the feature game
Or we
earlier
played a
today,
rip
but was
ball.
Glenn Howard yellow and
Or it's here,
Schuster
and I
red?
play like the
Because
run back on hers for
red has yet to score a point on
yeah.
Yes.
on sheet 3 if
Glenn
that's
Howard,
the case.
Glenn Howard was yellow.
So there we go.
Yeah.
All the other teams taking notes. Yellow is better on sheet 3 than red.
Well, yeah, I think talking to some of the teams, I think their notes might actually tell you different.
Right.
We've seen some teams struggle with the yellow set this week,
Yeah, that
so
already headed across the top.
Okay.
it's tough to say. But
so far, it's what?
So far today,
10-0?
it's certainly
10-0
yeah,
yellow?
Yeah, it's certainly been the top set today. That's for sure.
Through 9 ends of play.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if it runs, then we hit nose.
Yeah. Right there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not gonna curl.
You got it, Mac.
We're just bouncing open if we sit there, and she's just gonna. There's no shot for 2. I don't think if we come in. So. Yeah. Just barely. Like it's basically nose. 7/8 slow.
Nose hit is the call, and that's, I don't know if she'd get all 3 moving or not here.
She's got to try to get something moving here. Mackenzie Zacharias down 4. Not bad.
Seeing who's second shot here.
Want to take a look? Yeah.
Looks pretty close, but I think it's yellow. Tough to tell always with the camera angle, but
Kind of think it's us.
it's my lean as well.
Yeah, just a question of how centered our overhead camera is.
Yeah,
It's really
exactly.
close.
I always try to
But
get
yeah,
it
I
perfectly
think
over the button,
I'm
but
leaning
it's
towards yellow. I think so.
I think given that I've been looking at this overhead
probably
camera
measure if I was
for
them, but-
4 straight days, I think when we've
So, yeah, I
had
guess the
close
question
ones, I've been right more often than not. So
Oh,
I
that's
think
good.
I think the camera's pretty close.
I'm on a 20-year losing streak on who's picking whose shot, so I'll take your word for it.
Okay, that's fair. Sometimes a man has to know his limitations.
Yeah, yeah. If it's up for
Rather-
debate,
'cause
just
I just
go
don't wanna set
opposite
it
of
up.
what I say.
Right? So if we're going to play in this line, I think the guard and then, I mean, I guess we just need to block the run a little bit, if possible. Okay. There? Okay. You
I
got
heard
it.
them say if the line's good, they'll come in and tap it. The challenge, of course, with these shots and is they don't want to, if they lay right on the V in visit
it's
there
really
as we're
close to
looking at
second,
it,
I
you
think
could
it was.
accidentally leave a shot for 2 here. So if
But
you're
we're just going to guard, get a corner around the red so she can't run it. Okay. So same way, because it's a little quicker on the side. Okay.
So guard is the call. So that I thought they were speaking a little bit about coming into the rings, but the guard's the better shot, in my opinion. And Holly's too, clearly. So
Yes. Always good when you're agreeing with
Yeah.
with the skips out there. So it's the last shot here for Holly Duncan in the 4th. She's up 4 and
Low line
sitting
right now.
1,
What's the line
maybe
right
2. Just needs to guard this to put some more pressure on young Mackenzie Zacharias.
yeah, just trying to get like an inch buried so there's no run back. Similar shot to what she just threw, but the draw doesn't look that difficult either. Just to the 4-foot. Easy to say up here in the booth.
Yes,
Just-
exactly.
Just draw the 4-foot.
Just draw the 4-foot, no problem. Yeah. Should do it.
I'd be surprised if she played the run back
Yeah,
anyway.
me too. Me too.
Oh boy.
If she thinks it's for 2, it would be worth it. Down 4-0.
I don't know. I don't think the run's there. Like, I think we're just going to roll out. I think you'd have to play it with soft weight.
I mean, from that angle, the run looks pretty darn tough, Mike.
Change it up. Yeah. You have to hit it nose, and nose is just peeling out. Okay. Yeah. Pull 4. Yep. Like there?
Yeah, the other one curled quite a bit.
Yeah, it did. Okay, halfway in the 4 is good.
So big draw here for Mackenzie Zacharias. A possible game-saving shot. She's likely facing 2 Duncan counters, 1 for sure.
Still at good speed.
Just wants to build some momentum. Get on the board. Get rid of this hammer. They've had it
Sometimes
for
the
too
hammer
long.
can be a curse. Yeah, no
Right.
question. So final stone, Mackenzie Zacharias needs a piece of the button.
Thought it was there. Thought it was
Score
there.
1.
Thought it was there.
Line's
Thought
great.
it was there.
Line's great. Curling now. Sweep for T. Take a look. Still running. 14-7.
Looks like it might need to slow down here. Sweepers are backed off. And it will not stop in time. So a steal of 1 for Holly Duncan. And it's a high 5 for the team from Woodstock, Ontario, up 5-0. And we'll be heading to the 5th when we come back after this. You're watching the Stu Sells Toronto Tankard on curling.com.
It's starting.
Here Here at Red Arena, we are trying to help people through equine therapy. Working with the veterans has been a very amazing experience. Our little motto that we always say is empowerment through horses. I love what I do. I'm just happy to be a part of it.
I'm a little bit of a nerd when it comes to landscaping. I've studied soil down to the microbes. It's that level of detail I bring to my work and to my business. Straight lines and a healthy ecosystem is what I'm all about.
Hello, folks, and welcome back to the Oakville Curling Club, home of the 2021 Stu Sells Toronto Tankard. You're watching women's semifinal action between Team Mackenzie Zacharias and Team Holly Duncan. John Cullen alongside Mike Harris, and it has been 10 straight points for the Yellowstones this morning on this sheet, and 5 in a row for Holly Duncan as she has a commanding 5-0 lead over Mackenzie Zacharias. And we'll see if Zacharias can find her way back into the game here, Mike.
Yes, I said the dreaded hammer is she's been stuck with it now for 3 ends, and
As long as I can't hit and roll in.
the challenge really it's up kind of up the middle. The Duncan second and third have been outplaying their opponents so far, and really just been a game of chasing shot stone for Team Zacharias so far. Starting off with these 2 beautiful lead stones, top button, top 4, and in a line. It's everything you could ask for when you're ahead.
Yeah, Tess Bobby and Rachel Strybosch both having excellent games for Holly Duncan. And as you say, Mike, it's just been a case of we haven't really seen through the first half of the game really any point of the game where Team Zacharias has felt in control.
Right, just a little glimmer in the third end there after a beautiful shot by Zacharias, but otherwise it's been all yellow stones here all day, as you say.
All day, baby. Yep, absolutely. We've got a few other semifinals happening around us. I'll keep you updated on some of those scores. Shannon Jay facing off against Danielle Inglis in the other women's semifinal. Of course, the winner of that game will face the winner of our feature game here, and it's Inglis in control. She's up 3-2, but she also has the hammer. They're playing 5. Beside them, Glenn Howard up against Corey Dropkin. And Corey Dropkin had to make a draw on his last one for his 1, which he did. So similar score line there. Glenn Howard up 3-2 with the hammer. And then our other men's semifinal, our other feature game over on Sheet B, which if you want to watch that, you can head over to curling.live on YouTube and check it out. There's no audio, but we do have HD quality video of that game for you. It's John Epping and Brad Gushu, and Brad Gushu had an open hit for 2 on his last in 4, which he made. So Brad Gushu is leading John Epping 3-1. Of course, the winner of those 2 men's games will face off in the final as well. We'll have coverage of both of those games for you at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. We'll have the men's game as our feature game with commentary, and then we'll have the ladies' final on our Sheet B with HD quality video, no sound. And we'll be looking forward to both of those games later this afternoon. And Holly Duncan, of course, looking like the favorite to get into one of those games, as she's once again without hammer and lying quite a few.
Close, squeeze, clean, yep, hard. Hard roll. Okay, really nice. Same thing, back 4 though.
Seen this show before.
We have, yeah. This looks like it looks
All
like, did
too
we
familiar.
rewind and we were just watching the fourth end again, or what happened here? But yeah, it's
If we hit it out and roll,
a case where Zacharias just has to get something behind a corner guard and try and get something going here.
Well, it's a good situation right now. They've got 2 corner guards. By not hitting, they're never going to be able to use those corners. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, let's just hit this middle one on the nose. Let Holly hit something, and then we can go around, even if you don't get rid of all 3 yellows. I know you're down 5-0, but
Well, and you got to think part of being down 5-0 is that you know your opponent's likely going to be hitting, right? So,
Correct.
you know, your chances of, if you hit this top yellow one, most likely Holly Duncan's peeling.
Definitely.
And that'll give you the open door for the 2, because of course Holly's not going to mind giving up 2 here, up 5.
Still
So
like this back 4. It's pretty good.
just maybe trying to do a little too much here, Mike. Maybe.
Well, maybe. I mean, I understand the theory. You know you're down, but again, the degree of difficulty on this in-turn back 4-foot tap on that stone on the left, as we're looking at it, is really hard, and you bounce off to the at all, and it's going to be a simple hit for Duncan to lie 4 up the middle. So it's one of those situations like, how hard do we want to make our shots? And like I said, those corner guards that you've thrown up are really unlikely to come into play now by playing this shot. Good freeze up the middle. You may just see, if the shot is made as they call you, yellow will still lie 2, and you might see Duncan maybe peel one of those guards. There's a little break, but there's the, tick the top one, roll open, and
Now those 2 Duncan stones are perfectly frozen.
Kind of just gonna go into there.
Yeah.
You get nose.
I don't mind the nose.
Yeah.
I can probably get under a little bit, but
Okay. Like normal or control? Okay.
And again, this kind of goes back to what you were saying earlier, Mike. Just the degree of difficulty on the Team Duncan shots just not that high. Megan Ballston getting to throw another open hit here. And it's been just a lot of guards, draws, open hits. And obviously they've made them and they've put the rocks in the right spots. But when the degree of difficulty is a lot lower, it's easier to look good, that's for sure.
Certainly. Playing the freeze now. I mind this a little less now. You're kind of committed to the center at this point, but and the angles aren't quite as good for Duncan anymore.
So big shot here from Carly Burgess. Needs a freeze. Duncan sitting 4.
Backy. Okay. Backy. Whoa. Running more than Anski. Here it goes. Back 12. T-line. Back 12. Okay. Backy. Okay. Close, Lauren. We'll play. Backy. Okay. Play off this guy. Close. Yep.
Looks pretty good.
Good, Carson.
Yeah, really nice shot from Carly Burgess.
Excellent shot. See what Duncan likes. They could run that top yellow into the red, and it should be removable.
Try to get to nose.
Or you throw that hack.
Or
later.
just high kind of thing.
Yeah, so you leave it like there?
Yeah. Like board or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
I go back to the scoreboard again. My first instinct is to run that yellow back, and
well, you're probably at the point too, if you're Duncan, that yellow's actually doing you less good than it is anything else, right? That's the one rock that could get you in trouble.
Clean. Yeah. Whoa. Clean.
Whoa, clean.
That's a fantastic shot.
Really good shot
from
Megan Balston.
Yeah, really good.
Beauty. She even got a little bit of a spin down right on top of the red there. And
it's locked.
It is absolutely locked, yeah.
Same weight. Yeah, that was probably back 8. Hair more. Line's good. Easy. Whoa. Whoa. A little more. Yeah. No, then. Wait for it. M. Similar. M. Right over M. Hard. Right to it. Right to it. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Trying to get this one to the face, and they will.
Good cart.
Pretty good shot from Carly Burgess there.
14-1.
Yeah, excellent.
It will drag.
Yeah.
For sure.
Can we nose?
I still like that top yellow onto the red at the top 8 foot. They should drag
it'll
that.
push it a little bit and probably
Yeah, is there a
yellow
case where they
onto
could
shot
get
stone.
both reds?
Yeah, for
it'll
sure.
come back right on.
I think if you hit the right side of the red at the top 8 foot, though, you might even miss that back one. So this is
Yeah.
a little tricky. Looks like
But you could try the same.
you'd have to get to the left side of that red stone as we're
Same
looking
kind of
at
thing
it
where you hit
in
it
order
just
to
a
get it
little
to drag.
off, but then it cues it up for the next one.
I almost don't mind having
Changing
a better
the
angle
angles.
and losing the back one, you know?
Yeah.
Although the angle will probably just go into that one.
Yeah. I think just make sure this goes away at this point.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, yeah, well, we sing 3. She's got to make a good shot.
Do you like firm?
I think we can throw normal. Like, it's whatever you like. Like,
Yeah.
I think we can throw whatever weight. So
Throw normal.
Okay. So yeah, just.
So we need to get to nose to get rid of that back red. If you hit it on the right-hand side of Megan's broom there, you might squeeze past the back one. Oh, there's some air there. I wasn't sure they were edge to edge, so yeah, definitely
They're normal.
can get to nose, no problem.
Like a hair off on that side? Yeah. Just want to make sure you get the one.
And that would leave yellow lying 3.
Stay here, lad.
Yeah, gotta go. Hard. Hard. Whoa. Yep.
And just like that.
You saw that hit it a little high side, so that's a break for Zacharias. They can now play either hit and roll off that stone on the left and in the 8 foot area and roll frozen. I think that would be my first call.
Try to flop in a little bit.
Or they can
Yeah, I
tap
don't
their own
mind
red
that.
frozen as well, depending on what they like.
Yeah, not too far. But yeah, trying to save this one because like if we just roll, she's gonna have the double.
I agree.
I like
yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah. Like play it, like to get rid of the 5 or just like
Yeah,
top?
I think we throw hit. Like 11, 10 and a half.
You like your John?
Yeah, just a.
I don't know. It's I liked the call you made. I think the problem with that is if you,
Yeah, 11 and a half.
I mean, obviously you have to make it really good.
Or do you like 11?
But you could put it in a spot where Duncan gets rid of all the reds, and then you're in trouble. Well, not in trouble, but you're maybe facing 5 on your
I don't
last.
see how they don't leave something no matter
Yeah,
what you do. I mean,
true.
if you can hit the one on the right as we're looking at it in the 8 foot in the between the red and the yellow and roll frozen on the one on the left, right on the tee line, is probably your best chance to score more than one.
Yeah, this one seems to me like unless they can get the shooter inside of that top guard, it's going to be a relatively easy double for
Well,
Holly.
even if they do make it in and roll buried, you know the back ones should be open for Duncan. So it's hard to get them both into position where they're, it's not easy to remove one for Team Duncan. So this is, I suppose you could roll your shooter a little bit to the right as we're looking at it, partially buried behind the one at top 12, and the one you send back could also spin towards the center line. That's a tough shot.
Yep. Whoa. Off.
Trying to make this curl.
Go in, we're really close.
And it will just miss. So just the wrong side of the inch all afternoon for Mackenzie Zacharias. And that is Duncan sitting 2, up 5 with hammer. And speaking of being on the wrong side of the inch, we have our first final. An exchange of gratitude between John Epping and Brad Gushu on sheet 6. John Epping had a really tough shot on his last one against 3 Gushu counters, was trying to run back, went right through the hole, and Gushu counted all 3 of them, so that's a final 6-1. So Brad Gushu, the first men's team into the final. This is their first tournament of the year, and they're undefeated so far, so a good start from the Gushu rink.
Practice? We don't need any practice.
Yeah, who needs practice?
Yeah. Brad did that a couple of years ago as well. And first event of the year was a slam, and he ended up coming in and winning it. So
who cares, you know?
Yeah, mid-season form early.
Absolutely. Well, I was talking to them, and they said that the Remax Center in St. John's, their home club, put ice in early for them this year to get practiced up for the trials, and so they've been sort of prioritizing the practice over the play, and now it comes time to play, and they look pretty darn good. So.
Yeah, and they came, said for coming here to Oakville, they got our first slam of the season coming up in a couple of weeks here as well. So.
Lots of line right now.
Ideal start for Team Gushu.
Absolutely. So you'll see Team Gushu in the men's final. We'll have coverage of that live for you on curling.com, sportsnet.ca, and the World Curling Federation, or World Curling TV, I should say. That'll be at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. And we're just waiting to see whether they'll face Corey Dropkin or Glenn Howard. And I can tell you, we might have a score update there pretty shortly that favors the team from Ontario. It's looking like the War of 1812 over there. Glenn Howard just
I don't even know what that means, but it can't be good for...
It just means that it's a bunch of Canadians taking care of some Americans.
There we go.
That's
I like
all.
that
Yeah.
reference.
Thank you.
We go.
Yeah. I had to Google it myself to make sure that I had the right war in my mind.
The
1800s.
American viewers won't understand that reference, so I can tell you their history books read differently.
That's true. That's very true, yeah. Yeah, they're hoping for more of a revolutionary war, but unfortunately it's been more like the War of 1812.
There
Am I
you
right,
go.
guys? So in any case, Mackenzie Zacharias facing 2 here again on her last, and Mike, there's not really an easy path in here for one.
No. Duncan got a little bit of a break there. She was a little light on that come around and rubbed off the stone at the top 12 and took away the double. There would have been a double for 2 had that yellow stone on the V in Visit Oakville. Had it not rolled over that far, it would have been a shot for 2, but this is a tough shot for Red to get on the board here. Nothing like playing an angle raise against a potential steal of 4 or 5 when you're down 5-0 already.
Yeah, it's
we're gonna, it's pretty thin on ours. Basically take where we want to hit it, make the double.
Oh, looks like she's trying to hit this. Hit it really thin on the red. Hit it on the right side of centers. We're looking at it. Have it carom off the stone on the left. Go straight back, and the shooter goes over and takes out the one on the right. I believe that's the call here.
So looking for a crazy shot for 2.
Spectacular, yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit more.
Hit this, an inch too thick, and it's a steal of, enough for
yes.
Team Duncan. All right. I'm excited now.
Me too, yeah. Mackenzie Zacharias trying a very difficult shot for 2. She's down 5.
In the ballpark, maybe? Oh, look at that shot. Awesome. A little bit unlucky there.
Oh, my gosh. I thought she had it. Phenomenal try from Mackenzie Zacharias. She still gets 1, though.
Over curl, just a hair.
Just a hair. Great try, but, it still got me into my screaming voice, so that's always a good sign. Mackenzie Zacharias will finally get on the board here. We'll have 6th end action coming up right after this. Holly Duncan up 5-1.
I'm a little bit of a nerd when it comes to landscaping. I've studied soil down to the microbes. It's that level of detail I bring to my work and to my business. Straight lines and a healthy ecosystem is what I'm all about.
Asham Curling Supply.
Superior fit, comfort, and performance. Asham curling shoes are the best we've ever used.
Hi folks, I'm Arnold Asham, and our product is always satisfaction guaranteed or your money back.
Asham Curling Supplies.
That's your best delivery of the day.
Here at Red Arena, we are trying to help people through equine therapy. Working with the veterans has been a very amazing experience. Our little motto that we always say is empowerment through horses. I love what I do. I'm just happy to be a part of it.
So welcome back to continuing coverage of the Stu Sells Toronto Tankard. You're watching the women's semifinal between Winnipeg's Mackenzie Zacharias and Woodstock's Holly Duncan. John Cullen alongside Mike Harris, and it's been mostly Holly Duncan so far. She leads 5-1, and she just got the hammer back. However, Mackenzie Zacharias just about made the shot of the weekend on her last one, Mike.
Oh man, well, first of all, great call. You know, kudos
great
to
to
them
see it,
just
yeah.
to see it, and then he really just overcurled probably by about a half an inch to get two and get back into this thing. But I say on the bright side, Red gets their first point of the day on sheet 3, and Team Zacharias can try to get into steal mode here. Challenge, of course, being now that Duncan is going to do everything she can to get rid of those center guards, and perfect tick shot made to open things up here, and the task at hand becomes more difficult for Team Zacharias.
Tess Bobby, the lead for Holly Duncan's had a fantastic game. Just getting everything set up perfectly, and now making a great tick with her first, and it is officially the War of 1812 for Glenn Howard over on sheet 5, putting up 4 against Corey Dropkin. So beating John Schuster 5-0 this morning, and now leads Corey Dropkin by the same amount. Glenn Howard up 7-2. So it looks like Glenn Howard and Brad Gushu on a collision course for the final. We'll have coverage of that here on curling.com, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. And Tess Bobby making another great tick, and this is going to be difficult for Mackenzie Zacharias to get anything going this end.
Well, without a miss, you know, if nothing changes, Duncan's going to have a draw to score a point here. Yeah, a couple of fantastic tick shots, and that rolls to a spot where the double on the two reds is available and roll the shooter out of play. So all of a sudden there could be really nothing out front.
Yep.
And then, well, what are we going to talk about, John, when that happens? It'll be straight peels and
just talk about our lives, I guess. You know, how you doing?
Nobody wants to know. Nobody wants to know.
Yeah, exactly. No one cares. So Rachel Strybosch looking to make the double peel, and she won't. So
that's exciting for us.
Saving grace
good
for the commentators.
Yeah, exactly.
Rachel really looking out for us back here.
That's a
miss.
That's a big break, actually. Now for Zacharias, glimmer of hope.
Yeah, we should mention some of our sponsors here, Mike. Obviously, doing great things here on curling.com. It would not be possible without support from a number of great sponsors, including RBC, Firehouse Subs, Remax Stu Sells, Close Concepts Electrical Solutions, Runback, the official curling apparel of curling.com, and our presenting sponsor for the Toronto Tankard is In Situ. They're an environmental remediation company, so they go into former environmentally damaged sites. Think of things like gas stations, industrial areas, and they clean them up to make them safe for future use. So doing great things in our communities. You can check them out at irsl.ca, and maybe Corey Dropkin could have used them last end because there was a whole lot of red in the house. And IRSL could have remediated that situation for him, perhaps. So thank you to all of our sponsors, and especially thank you to In Situ for being the presenting sponsor here. It's been another wonderful event here at the Oakville Curling Club, and we've been loving bringing it to you, and we look forward to bringing you more coverage on curling.com. We're back here next weekend. The Penticton Classic in Penticton, British Columbia. I get to call an event in my home province, which will feel really nice. Be live from the Penticton Curling Club, a phenomenal lineup of teams on the men's side. Virtually all of the top teams in Canada will be there. And we'll have the coverage live all weekend for you on curling.com.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to heading to BC myself between slams. My youngest has decided to go to University of Victoria, so that's BC will be seeing me.
Whoa,
there we
see,
go.
that's good.
There, right?
That is good. You've been sitting beside me for about an hour, and apparently that's how long it took for me to force you to say something stupid.
Where is it? Oh, that was clever.
No, it was very clever. I loved it.
It's good
I loved
for me,
it.
anyway.
Yeah. Oh, it was great.
Yeah, if you listen to me over the years, that's about as clever as I get. So.
Oh, that was wonderful. I thought it was great. Yeah, UVic, my sister, that's her alma mater. Great school over there. Watch out for the rabbits. They got a lot of bunnies over there. Yeah, that's a
Excellent. Looking forward
big
to
thing on campus.
Seeing that, yeah.
But yeah, it's a beautiful spot, and you said your daughter's curling out there as well.
Yeah,
so we welcome her to the BC fold.
Golden Ears Curling Club today. Maple Ridge, is that where there's that
is a former home club of John Cullen.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I'll let her know.
Yeah, my former skip Dean Jonice is the club manager there. So.
Oh, nice. I know Dean.
Yeah, of course.
He's old like me.
Yeah, you guys would be similar in age. I think he's a little younger than you.
Yes, he is. Yeah, we played a few times over the years, though.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Great player, two-time Brier champ and also Canadian junior champ is Dean.
BC champ, is that what you mean?
He won the Canadian juniors, and then BC Brier. Yeah, BC Brier. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, no, never won the Brier.
No disrespect, Dean. But
no.
If you're gonna say Brier champ, you gotta get.
No, you're right.
You gotta earn it.
BC Brier. My apologies. BC Tankard. We don't call it the Tankard out there. We just call it the BC Provincials.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, we don't have the. We don't have that. So Team Zacharias trying to get something started here. They've had this high center guard to work with, and they keep putting guards up pretty nicely. So might be a chance for Zacharias to maybe sneak out a steal here.
Be interesting to see if Duncan changes gears. Here she goes. Yeah, I mean, you're double center.
No.
Only skip rocks to come after this one. So if you peel here, you got to assume Zacharias is going to go around the middle. So I don't hate the idea of coming around if I was Holly Duncan.
Do you like the run better than trying that? Yeah.
This is where, the ability to throw that big weight. There's just a very slight angle there. So if you made the double on that yellow-red combination up the middle, the best you could do would maybe roll a foot off the center line to the left. So this will require Megan to kind of come out full force. Try to make the double. Problem is if you go around the middle and ever make a mistake, a steal of more than one might be in the mix.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, it looked like she might slice the Zacharias one into the house there for a second, but manages to avoid that. So.
Well, for all skips out there, the first factor in your decision making should be the score, and that's the right call up 4 with the hammer here. Even if there's a slight chance of giving up a steal of 1, you're still in complete control. Steal of 2 is not anything you need to put at risk.
Yeah.
So Zacharias makes a nice come around. Duncan will play some sort of run back and or peel. And steal of 1 is the worst case scenario here for Duncan.
Yeah, and obviously you'd still like your chances being up 3 with hammer heading into 7. So yeah, you're absolutely right. And especially I think a game where you've carried so much of the momentum a steal of 1 is a little bit of momentum, but a steal of 2 is a lot to give back to Team Zacharias. So agreed there, Mike.
Bite the button.
And speaking of the scoreboard, I can give you an update on the other ladies semifinal. Team Inglis scoring 1 in the 5th. So they lead Shannon J 4-2. Jay with the hammer. They're playing the 6th end. So both of those teams looking to earn a date with what is looking like Holly Duncan, but still a few ends to come.
Yeah. I think I like Bullard. Okay. Just stick around over there. Okay. There?
And if Holly Duncan could make the final here, that would be her 4th straight final, Mike, which is a pretty darn good way to do things. They lost the semifinal in their first event of the year, but then won the final in Oakville a month ago, lost the final in Kitchener-Waterloo, and then are now in the 3rd straight final, I should say. Yeah. Fourth straight semi they're in right now, and that's a really good start to the year no matter what way you slice it.
Yeah, they're good curlers. It's the type of in-depth analysis you brought me in here for, right?
Yeah,
they're good.
Hey, they're good. We're watching a semifinal, and here's a hot take. The curlers in the semifinal are good.
They are playing well.
Yeah.
Close. Yep.
Calls the hit and stay here, but just be careful up the middle.
This looks like it's flirting with the guard. Gotta get by it, and they do. Fantastic shot from Holly Duncan.
Excellent.
And now the pressure's on Mackenzie Zacharias, because if she has to try to bury this to steal, but if she doesn't, then it's 3, and I would say the game would be over for Holly Duncan. So
well, even 1 at this point, right?
Yes.
If you're Zacharias, you got to think, just play the draw and take your chances. Yeah, she's going. She's making the right calls here. This is first step as a young skip, is to make sure you're making the right decisions, and she's doing a good job of that so far.
Yeah, I think absolutely. I've been following the Zacharias team for a while. I was at the 2020 Canadian Juniors when they went undefeated to the title there, did a bunch of commentary there, and just been so impressed with this young team. And they work really hard with their coach, Sheldon Zacharias, and I know they're doing all the right things, playing in all the right tournaments, going to all the right places. And as you say, Mike, when the strategy is there, that's more than half the battle sometimes, and the execution will come with time, right?
Well, really the main difference between younger teams and the top teams is consistency. That's really what it comes down to. Of course, they can make all the shots, and we've already mentioned, players like Burgess, who's won multiple Canadian and World Championships. She, obviously makes a ton of shots. So what you need to do now is just do it more often, right? That's the key. And pretty good result there.
Yep.
Going to get partially buried, but chance for Duncan to follow that down, tap it back for 1, possibly 2 or 3 if they want to throw the weight.
Yeah, probably one of those situations, Mike, where you leave that to the sweepers.
Yeah.
Kind of throw.
Once the line's good, sweep the heck out of it.
Exactly.
I think I could throw the same weight. Yeah. As long as I touch it, we're probably getting one, right? Right. It's up to you. Okay. I like the same weight. Okay. It was like there? Sure. Okay.
You heard Holly say, not worried about staying. Just throw the shot they know. Throw the one they just threw and make it go away.
You guys like the same shot? Okay. Same weight.
Yeah, as you said, Mike, you don't really need to stick here, and especially with 2 rocks already hanging on the rings, if you roll your shooter out, you're still stealing 2, and it's probably the game. So Holly Duncan looking to put a final stamp on this one. Her final shot in the 6th, looking for a hack weight hit.
Whoa. 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 Close. Whoa. Close. Pearl. Rachel. Hard. You got it. Hard. Hard.
And you can stamp it and file it. That's 2 on the board for Holly Duncan. And that is an exchange of gratitude here on sheet 3. Holly Duncan, 7-1 winners over Mackenzie Zacharias. So we'll see Holly Duncan in the finals later today against either Danielle Inglis or Shannon Jay. That's coming up live at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. We'll have all the coverage here on curling.com, so make sure you tune in then. For Mike Harris, I'm John Cullen. We'll see you soon. Bye.